Captain Kirk's Enterprise secretly had more than one transporter room in Star Trek, the original series. It's one of those funny little details in Star Trek, the original series, that fans often overlook. The transporter room. Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, and Dr. McCoy beamed down to countless alien worlds from that iconic platform, surrounded by glowing lights and humming machinery. But if you pay close attention, there's a fascinating mystery lurking within those sequences. The Enterprise didn't just have one transporter room. Despite what many assume, it had several, quietly revealed across the show's run. While Star Trek never explicitly confirmed multiple transporter rooms in dialogue, visual and production details across the original series subtly, but clearly support the idea. Between set redresses, inconsistent layout designs, and situational storytelling, the evidence points to the Enterprise being equipped with more than a single transporter facility. And when you think about the scale of Kirk's starship, the logic of that revelation becomes impossible to ignore. The case of the shifting transporter room. The transporter room is one of the Enterprise's most recognizable sets, but anyone who's watched the original series carefully knows it doesn't always look the same. In some episodes, the door is on the right side of the control console. In others, it's on the left. The walls change, the lighting varies dramatically, and the control panels are rearranged. These differences go far beyond simple camera angles. They indicate that we are seeing different rooms entirely. This wasn't an intentional continuity clue at the time, of course. The 1960s production of Star Trek operated on a tight budget, often redressing and rearranging existing sets to save money. Still, within the show's internal logic, there's no reason to assume that these are continuity errors. The Enterprise was home to over 400 crew members and spanned more than 20 decks. It's actually strange to think there would be only one transporter room for such a massive ship. Practical Starfleet design. Starfleet vessels are designed with redundancy in mind, a principle confirmed across every later Star Trek series. The USS Enterprise D from the Next Generation had at least 4 transporter rooms, each on different decks. Voyager and Deep Space Nine also feature multiple transporter facilities for specific functions like cargo, security, and emergency operations. If 24th century Starfleet ships had several, there's no reason their 23rd century predecessors wouldn't. In fact, given how often Kirk's crew needed to beam large landing parties or evacuate personnel during battle or planetary emergencies, having multiple transporter rooms makes perfect sense. Imagine relying on a single transporter room when the ship's under attack or during a mass evacuation. It would be a logistical nightmare. Episodes like The Doomsday Machine and The Immunity Syndrome, which depict large-scale crises, imply heavy crew movements and quick beam-outs. Even though the camera only shows one room, it's logical to assume others are operating off-screen to handle simultaneous transport operations. Subtle hints in the show. While the series never outright said transporter room 2, some clues do appear in dialogue and context. In the episode, The Enemy Within, for instance, the transporter malfunctions and splits Captain Kirk into 2 versions. During repairs, Scotty works on that transporter room system, suggesting it's one of several rather than the ship's only means of beaming. If the crew truly had just one, the entire ship's operations, from landing parties to incoming cargo, would have been paralyzed. Likewise, in The Naked Time, the crew's frantic attempt to save the ship include transporting materials and people under extreme time pressure. Multiple transporter facilities would make these scenes far more plausible. And even when the Enterprise was damaged, the show often depicted transporter operations continuing seamlessly, something that could easily be explained by having several rooms spread throughout the ship, each with its own independent systems. Production design meets canon. Behind the scenes, the truth is simple. The transporter room was rebuilt and rearranged many times for visual variety. The set designers often moved walls, changed entry points, or repainted panels depending on the episode's needs. But one of the great joys of Star Trek fandom is the way fans retroactively reconcile production realities with in-universe logic. Over the decades, fan blueprints, technical manuals, and even semi-canon sources like the Star Trek Encyclopedia and Starfleet Technical Manual have incorporated the multiple transporter concept into official starship design. According to some fan schematics, the Constitution-class Enterprise had as many as 4 transporter rooms for personnel. Life. It